was that Judge Jackson is soft on crime. What this has become is to not take the bait on a lot of this grandstanding question, and
Right.
Judge Jackson certainly did not. She kept her composure, answered, wouldn't talk about her faith, for example, 2 days ago, specifically when Lindsey Graham asked her to rate her faith on a scale of 1 to 10. She sort of took a deep breath and passed that off and said, my faith will not apply to my decisions. I'm a judge. What did you make of her performance? Because this really was, for most Americans, an introduction to the country for Judge Jackson.
Well, I thought she did an exceptional job. And if she is not a person, an American, that everybody can and should be proud of, I don't know who is. I mean, you listen to her testimony, you hear her story, you hear that story about what happened in Harvard Yard that day. And number one, your heart just goes out to her. But number two, you think this is exactly what America should be celebrating and not tearing down. And you have these despicable Republicans up there who are basically running a primary campaign for the next presidential election, who are race baiting and doing everything the Reverend just described in an effort to pander to their base. But what they're actually doing, I think, is further branding the Republican Party as an anti-minority party and an anti-black party, which, frankly, I don't understand. Politics is about growing your vote share. I don't see what the strategy is here for Republicans, because they're not going to stop her, and they're only going to further cause problems with their brand. As for whether or not she gets 3 or 4 or 5 Republican votes, at this point, I don't think it matters that much. She's going to get 50 plus 1, or she's going to get 50 plus 2, or just something in that neighborhood, and she's going to be a Supreme Court justice.
Yeah, it really is shocking to me that the Republicans wouldn't use this opportunity to soften some of their harder edges. Ruth Bader Ginsburg got, what, 93, 94 votes? Mm-hmm. And I know that times have supposedly changed. Not really if you're a United States Senator. You still have to run statewide. And this week has been such a missed opportunity by so many Republicans. Steve, I want to ask you, though, about Democrats. And I say this as a former Republican.
I knew it was coming, Joe.
No, it's coming. I want to say this as a former Republican. You and I go way back, and you've known me for a long time as a fire-breathing Republican and everything. I must say, though, looking at Democrats now, they do have that sort of we don't deserve good things attitude. It's always a glass half empty. There's always infighting and squabbling. Joe Biden's not doing enough. And yet, you look at these hearings, and then you look at what Joe Biden has done. Through yesterday, the Democratic Senate has confirmed 56 Biden appointees already to the federal bench, lifetime appointments. That's a pretty remarkable achievement. And yet I still hear from too many Democrats about the glass being half full. Isn't this something the party should really embrace and celebrate?
I completely agree with you, Joe. What the Biden administration is doing is they're putting one foot in front of the other, and they're quietly doing their job, and they're getting people approved, not just judges, but other federal appointees. They're using administrative law and executive orders to change things that they can't get through Congress. And, they're doing exactly what Joe Biden said he was going to do when he ran for president. Now, are they doing every single thing that the progressive left wants? No. But it's a 50-50 Senate, so it's not possible to do those things. I think, if anything, there's been an expectations problem or challenge for Democrats, because some of the things that Democrats would like to do, that I would like to do, that the Reverend would like to do, simply aren't possible in a 50-50 Senate. And I don't think that our progressive base always understands that as well. But I used to work for a guy named Ted Kennedy, who was a pretty progressive person himself. And his view was always you go in and you get what you can get, and then you come back for more later. And I think Democrats would be well advised to remember that lesson, because that's what Joe Biden is doing every single day, and he's doing it he's doing it in Europe, he's doing it here at home, and I think there should be a greater appreciation on the left of what President Biden is delivering for the entire country.